Pridmore back for another video lesson today. I hope that you'll be able to sing along and that you'll use a nice singing voice. Do you remember how we talk about our 4 different singing voices, or our different voices, I mean? So we've got, this is my speaking voice. This is my whisper voice. This is my shouting voice. This is my voice that sings. And hopefully you were able to echo me on that one. Now can we sing hello? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? I have been looking forward to seeing you again. I hope we get to be together in person really, really soon. And until that time, I thought that it might be good to read a story about going out to eat. You know, when we go eat at restaurants, or even when we go eat at other people's houses, the rules can be a little bit different than when you're at home. At home, kind of anything goes sometimes, but when you're eating at a restaurant around a lot of other people, you have to be on your best behavior. And so, there are so many rules when we go to a restaurant, so many rules when we go to a restaurant, so many rules when we go to a restaurant. I can think of 3 of them. The 3 I'm thinking are: you must be neat, you must be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. Can you try to sing that with me? You must be neat, you must be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. We're gonna read a story called Froggy Eats Out. And Froggy has to learn those rules about being neat, being quiet, and not putting his little froggy feet on the table. Nobody wants that. It was almost dinner time and Froggy was hungry. He sat in the kitchen and he dreamed about burgers and flies. Then he hopped up and looked for something to eat. He looked in the cabinet, slam! He looked in the fridge, slam! He looked in the oven, bang! Mom, yelled Froggy, there's nothing to eat. Froggy, called his mother. What? Did you forget? It's our anniversary. We're going out to eat. Hooray, said Froggy, let's go. First, you have to get dressed up, dear. We're going to a fancy restaurant. So Froggy flopped to his bedroom. Flop, flop, flop. He slipped off his shirt, unzipped his pants, took off his shoes, pulled off his socks, and he even changed his underwear with a zap of elastic. Then he tugged on his best pants, zip, buttoned up his best shirt, zip, 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 put on his best socks, zoop, tied them up, put on his shoes, zip, tied him up, zwit, zwit, and he put on his best bow tie with a snap. And then he flopped out to show his mom and dad. Flop, flop, flop. You look very handsome, dear, said his mother, but you forgot to wash. Oops, said Froggy. So he went to the bathroom and he washed his hands and his face, splash, 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 and he used lots and lots of water and soap. Then he dried off with a towel, zoop, and he looked at himself in the mirror and he thought he was kind of cute. Froggy, called his father. What? Time to go, said his dad. We'll be late. And off they flopped to the restaurant. Flop, flop, flop. At the restaurant, Froggy's eyes grew big and round. There were glowing candles, flowers in vases, and tablecloths as white as snow. This is a fancy restaurant, said Froggy. Yes, said his mother. So remember, you must be neat, you must be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. Can you guys help me with that? Let's try that song. You must be neat, you must be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. You must be neat, you must be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. Do you think that you would have trouble remembering not to put your feet on the table? Some people do. When they were seated, Froggy said, I'm hungry, let's eat. First, we have to order, dear, said his mother. I want a hamburger, said Froggy. There are no hamburgers here, said his father. When the waiter handed him a menu, Froggy opened it and knocked over a glass of water. Crash! Oops, said Froggy. Oh, Froggy, said his mother. Remember what I told you? I know, said Froggy. You must be neat, you must be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. When it was hard to be neat and quiet, Froggy started to fidget. He shook salt on his hand and he licked it. And then he banged his spoon on the table. Bang, bang, bang. And then he hit hard on the tip of the spoon and it flipped right onto the waiter's head with a bonk. After the waiter finally came and took orders, they waited and waited and waited and waited. And Froggy pulled petals off of all the flowers, he blew out the candle, and he sucked on sugar cubes and ice cubes. Then he hopped up and flopped around the restaurant, flop, 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 singing, "You must be neat, you must be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table." "Froggy," called his father. "What?" "Come sit down, now." Froggy sat down. Finally, dinner was served. Froggy stuck his fork into a huge plate of spaghetti and sucked some of it up with a slurp. It was fun, so he slurped up some more. Slurp! And that's when he saw Froggalina. She was sitting with her parents. "Hi, Froggy," called Froggalina. "Who's that pretty girl, Frog?" said his mom. Froggy was so embarrassed that he ducked beneath the tablecloth and pulled and pulled and pulled until his spaghetti and fly sauce landed smack on his head. Splat! "Oops!" cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. "Happy anniversary!" he croaked. "You must be neat, you must be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table." "What a mess!" cried his father. "Oh, Froggy," said his mother. Froggy scooped spaghetti off of his face and said, "I know. Let's eat out at a fast fly's place." "Good idea," said his mother. "Let's go," said father, and together they leapfrogged all the way there with a flop, 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 where they all ate burgers and flies. Munch, crunch, munch. The end. Oh my goodness, there are so many things that you have to remember when you go in public that you can't do when you're being crazy at home with your brothers and sisters. You must be neat, you must be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. You must be neat, you must be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. So remember to follow the rules wherever you are, and don't forget our Finny Bulldog values. Remember, they are be kind, be safe, and be responsible. Stand up and do the right thing. Stand up and do the right thing. I wake up each day, look in the mirror and say, I'm gonna stand up and do the right thing. Can you sing our Finny Bulldog song? Stand up and do the right thing. I'm gonna stand up and do the right thing. I wake up each day, look in the mirror and say, I'm gonna stand up and do the right thing. And the next time I see you guys, I have some really fun parts to learn on the Orff instruments with that. I hope that you come back with lots and lots of stories to tell me about all the wonderful things that you are learning, because I know that you are still doing your growing up job even though we can't be together. So make sure you're reading your books, singing songs, being kind to your friends and family, and I will see you soon, my friends. Goodbye, friends. Oh, goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. We'll see you here next time. Bye, Finny. See you soon.